Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jennifer, part of the Somerset County Family and Community Health Science Department. This is Tasty Tuesday, and I am going to make a watermelon salsa. There's not another fruit that I can think of when you think of summer than watermelon. And there's so many fun ways to use it. This recipe actually a friend had given me. I'm going to post it later. It was taken from the Pioneer Woman, but we were at a barbecue a few years ago and her husband had made it. And when I think of salsa, I always think of tomatoes. We really enjoy a peach mango salsa made with tomatoes, but what's so fun about playing around with salsas is that you could use all different kinds of fruits and all different kinds of vegetables in your salsa. So today we're going to work with watermelon. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention choosing your watermelon. I know sometimes that can be overwhelming when you see the big bin. Make sure your watermelon is really heavy, okay? You want it to be heavy and dense. And on the underside, you'll see this flat yellowish patch. That's kind of where it started to grow into the ground and was getting ripened by the sun. So you want to make sure it has a nice big flat patch on it when you are picking your watermelon. And before you start cutting, you do want to wash your watermelon. I know some people don't realize that, but that's a big safety precaution when you are cutting up melon, because if you just take your knife and you cut into your watermelon, if there are germs or things that you need to clean off, that's going to go right into the watermelon that you're eating. So definitely give it a rinse. So I've already cut my watermelon in half. It's about a pretty small watermelon in half. And I've already diced them up real small. I have one piece I'm going to dice, but you can kind of see just tiny dices. I put it in here so we can kind of judge how much a half of a small watermelon would yield. This is going to be about 8 cups. So this is a half of a half here. I saved just a little bit to cut up with you, just to show you how easy it is. Get rid of my rind. Okay, so there's no magic to cutting the watermelon. Like I said, you just want it into small dices. I kind of cut strips. I kind of just cut them into strips and then take it into the small dice. Now, watermelon is packed with nutrients. 2 cups of watermelon is going to give you about 25% of your vitamin C for the day. And it also is a good source of vitamin A. It's a good source of some of your B vitamins. And it's a great source of magnesium as well, and potassium. Okay, so you don't want big dices, you want tiny dices, because remember, you're going to be eating this with corn chips. This is also great to put on top of a fish taco or a grilled chicken. So you can use this dish in many, many ways. All right, let's give it up for our last chunk here. Now I changed up the recipe because after we get the watermelon all diced, we're going to add some peppers. Okay, so a half of a watermelon small yields about 8 cups. So I have my nice big clear bowl so you can see how pretty the colors are. We're just going to dump the watermelon into the bowl. Now the recipe called for 3 peppers, a green, a red, and an orange. Personally, I don't like to use the green pepper in this recipe. I like to stick with the sweeter peppers. So I used 1 yellow pepper and 1 orange pepper, and I've already diced that up. Okay, another pepper that is key in salsa is jalapeno peppers. And again, you could use 1 or 2 depending on how much spice and heat you want to add. These are pretty big jalapenos. I'm just going to use 1. When you are cutting your jalapenos, okay, make sure that you don't touch, because the seeds especially can burn. Like if you have it on your hands and you inadvertently rub your eye. So I like to not touch the pepper with my fingers. I'm kind of getting all the seeds out just with the knife alone. Oh, the jalapenos are fantastic. These would be actually great stuffing peppers because they're so big. Okay, and again, I'm going to cut them into tiny dices, little petite dices. So things that you can do with the leftover half of watermelon, obviously if I chop it up in my house, my family would just eat it up in chunks. You could make ice pops with it. Another salad, if you are entertaining and you're like, how else can I serve watermelon? I love big chunks of watermelon with feta cheese and mint. That is delicious. So you really could revolve a picnic or a barbecue and have watermelon be the star. Okay, so there is our jalapeno. And again, you can use one or two. I'm just using one today. And I have half of a small red onion. I'm going to add that as well. So that's basically the ingredients of your salsa. I love the purple onion. It just gives it some color. Okay, next we're going to add 1 to 2 limes. I like to just roll it on the counter and get all that juice going. Before I cut it, I'm just going to add a little of the zest. That just gives it a nice citrus. The smell of citrus. It's like true summer. Okay. And then we just sprinkle the juice on the watermelon. Might use those mussels that you have, right? Okay. And this is best in the refrigerator. So if you are, say you're having a picnic or you want to serve this for dinner, make it in the morning so that it can chill several hours in the refrigerator. Okay, so that was 1 lime. And the last thing I'm going to add is just a teaspoon of salt. Salt actually, sometimes you think of sweetness when you think of watermelon, but sometimes it can be a little bitter. If you add a little salt, actually cuts the bitterness and will bring out the sweetness of the watermelon. Okay, so that is so pretty. See how that looks? All right, and then you might want to adjust it to taste. I have some corn chips here, so I'm going to try it. It's so refreshing. It's so light. Try this next time you're making chicken or just want a dip to munch on when you're sitting outside enjoying the weather. This is a great portable dish. If you happen to be going to a picnic, put your lid on it and carry it with you if you are going to an outdoor barbecue. But make sure you chill it for a couple of hours. It will last in your refrigerator several days. So I will look for the recipe, but like I said, the main ingredient I didn't add, it's sitting right here. Cilantro. I'm like, I taste the jalapeno, I taste the lime, we're missing the cilantro. If you're not a fan of cilantro, you can add fresh basil as well. So you can also play around with the flavor profiles with the herbs. How could I forget the cilantro? You need cilantro in the salsa, right? I just want to look at your comments here. Can't see without my reading glasses. Yes, I will review the ingredients and I will post them. So it was a half of a watermelon, which was about 8 cups of petite diced watermelon. I used 2 bell peppers, 1 yellow, 1 orange. You can certainly add 3 peppers if you'd like. If you don't have peppers and you really want to make this, you can even add cucumbers to this. And then it was 1 lime, a handful of cilantro, and half of a red onion. And then you just mix it all together with a dash of salt. So there we go. And our cilantro is added. All right. Well, enjoy your watermelon. Enjoy your long 4th of July weekend. Stay safe and have fun. Thank you.
Bye.